in listen-only mode.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar in our DAD webinar series in 2017. Today, we are talking about international master's programs in economics at the University of Konstanz. And I'm very happy that today we have a representative from the university with us, and that's Alexandra Morris, and she's the data analyst in the Department of Economics at the University of Konstanz. My name is Hani Geist, and I will be your host for today, but I will also talk to you a little bit about DAD scholarships and grants that are available if you decide to study in Konstanz. So what is today's agenda? First of all, what is DAD and what can we do for you? The webinar is mainly about the University of Konstanz, but DAD can really help you in your endeavor of studying in Germany, be it just general information or really specifically scholarships and grants if you would like to study in Germany. And then we will devote most of our presentation today in the international master's programs in economics at the University of Konstanz. And there are actually 3 master's programs that are available as an international master's, and that's the master's in economics, master's in political economy, and then the master's in social and economic data analysis. And Alexandra Morris will talk to you more about that, but also about Konstanz and why studying Konstanz is a wonderful idea, and what Konstanz has to offer for you. At the very end of this presentation, we will have a Q&A, and I encourage you to actually send me your questions right away. But before we start the main part of the presentation, I would like to get a few questions out of the way. First of all, we will share these slides with you later on as a PDF. I will send a follow-up email where you can find the links to the presentations on our website. And I also record this webinar, so you will be able to watch it later if you need to leave earlier, or if you would like to maybe also send it to a friend or a colleague of yours. And of course, you will be able to contact us if you have the contact information in one of the previous slides. And so if there are any questions throughout the presentation, feel free to get in touch with me using the question box here. Your kind of tool bar looks a little bit more compromised than mine. It's not as extensive as this one, but you are able to use the question box to get in touch with me throughout the presentation. So you can ask right away, and either I answer the question right away, or if this is something for the Q&A, I will keep that for later on. Now with that, let's jump into the DAD part of this presentation. DAD is a national agency for international academic cooperation and exchange, and that's simply put really the higher education arm of the German government. We represent higher education abroad, and we do that also by advising about studying in Germany, doing research in Germany, but then also more specifically, we advise on the scholarship and grant opportunities that are available for students really on all levels, and on the undergraduate level, graduate level, but also PhD level. So we do fund not only study abroad, but also internships, senior thesis research, and research in general. And either you will receive a monthly stipend or a lump sum, or yeah, it's either a monthly stipend or it's a lump sum. In most cases, if you do stay longer than 8 weeks, you will receive a monthly stipend, and that will cover your living expenses. And in addition to the living expenses, we also offer health insurance that will cover you throughout your stay, and also cover some of the travel reimbursement. No, this is really open to students in all fields. This, the masters that are offered at the University of Konstanz and that are presented today are in economics, but really no matter what kind of focus you have, and this is really available to all students. You don't necessarily need to know German for the scholarship. So really, the language requirement is dependent on the degree program. You will hear today that German is not a requirement, so the programs are in English. So it is really not a requirement for the study scholarships or the research grant. But, and you will maybe hear about that later too, it is definitely an advantage if you know some German, not necessarily at the university, but in your personal life and outside of the university, and also if you decide to travel, then knowing some German is definitely an advantage. Now, I will talk to you about two funding opportunities specifically that are available to you if you would like to study in Germany and do research in Germany. The first one is the study scholarship, which is for students that are seniors already. They can apply if you would like to pursue a master's in Germany. So that is really for up to 2 years. But if you are a student who, a senior student who doesn't know yet what to do, and maybe, or you want to work a little bit later after your bachelor's, that's definitely possible. You don't need to apply right away. You can apply to the scholarship up to 6 years after graduation. So there is no rush for you to actually apply right away. But if you don't want a big gap in between your bachelor's and master's, you are eligible to apply as a senior. Again, German language skills are not a requirement if it's not a requirement for the program. And also for you to note, the application deadlines, and you will hear about that later on more in detail, are usually much later than what they are here in the United States. So if you want to apply for funding for the whole academic year, you will have to apply a year in advance. And at that point, most of the application portals are not open yet. Most universities don't accept applications until later in the year. So for you, just keep in mind, you don't need to have applied to university yet. You just need to know where you would like to go, and you need to make that a part of your application. You need to argue why you want to go there. So please keep in mind, if you would like to receive funding for the full 2 years of your master's, you have to apply about a year in advance. But if you miss the deadline, or maybe you don't receive the scholarship when you apply the first time, you can also apply for funding for your second year if you decide to start right away and maybe fund your degree program using different funding opportunities and maybe work, and maybe Alexander more as well. So address that a little bit later, what opportunities there are for international students. Now, this is the study scholarship for graduates. If you are interested in research opportunities, or if you are later on, if you go to Germany for your master's and you really love it and you're interested in a PhD, there is also research grant to fund PhDs for 3 years, but also long-term or short-term research in Germany. And for that, you see here, invitation by host institution is essential. And that really means that if you would like to do research at the university, that you need some sort of documentation that the professor you would like to work with is accepting you as a guest, and that you maybe have a desk available to you if you need to look at archives, that you have access to those archives. So really, the more you have here, the better it is for your application. The deadline also for that is in November for the short-term and long-term, but there is also a deadline coming up in May, and that is for short-term if you decide you would like to maybe for now only stay in Germany for a little bit to do some research, or if you decide you would like to maybe come back and collaborate with a professor or with a fellow student that you met there for some short-term funding. Now, that being said, you find the websites on top of this slide, but you can also find us on dad.org. All funding opportunities are available there. And I just noticed that you didn't see my slide, did you? Were you able to see my slide just now? I guess you are now. All right, now we see the slides. So the slides are available also later on. So if you didn't see this earlier while I spoke, you do have the slides also available later on the website. But for later, you can revisit our website at dad.org. You find the funding opportunities there, and you can connect with us through our social media channels, Facebook and Twitter, and also Instagram. And all of our updates also on funding opportunities are also always in our newsletter if you want to make sure that you don't miss a deadline. And so with that being said, I would like to hand over the microphone figuratively to Alexandra Morris, and also share her PowerPoint presentation with you on her computer.
So, hello everybody. As Hani said, my name is Alexandra. I welcome you to this webinar about the master's programs in economics, political economy, and social and economic data analysis at the University of Konstanz. I hope you can see my slides now. Otherwise,
we can. Yes, we can.
Yes, good. That's good to know. Anyway, yes, hello. I'm very happy to present this little introduction about our programs to you. And I would like to start with a little journey into Konstanz and the surrounding. Just sit back and relax for a while so that you can imagine what it's all about to live and study here in Konstanz. But you might ask yourself, where is this Konstanz at all? We are based at a pretty big lake. It's called Lake Konstanz, and the city Konstanz is bordering Switzerland and very close to Austria, as you can see. We are in the heart of Europe. It's not far away from Berlin, Hamburg, Paris, or Vienna. You can take the train to get there in a couple of hours. Or you might even take the plane to Dublin or London. The nearest airport to reach us is in Zurich Airport. Once you arrive in Konstanz, this is our scenery. It is a mid-sized historic town. We have about 80,000 people living here. It's very picturesque and nice, and as you can see on the picture, we are right next to the lake I mentioned before. This is the River Rhine here with the three bridges. One of them is the bike bridge, so lots and lots of students take that bridge every day to university or back home or wherever. And as you can see on this big picture as well, on a nice and sunny day, and we have lots of them, you can see the Alps in the background. On this picture there's still snow, so it's probably early in the year. As I mentioned before, the border to Switzerland is just around the corner. Konstanz is actually right next to another Swiss town called Kreuzlingen, and this is on the other side here, on this side of the lake. So if you want to do a quick trip to Kreuzlingen in Switzerland, no problem, you can take your bike or walk over the border. We have a great public transportation system, so if you don't have a bike, but many of our students have bikes, there's a bus system, a train system, so there's no trouble to get around. And if I always suggest to our new students, go to a second-hand bike market and get yourself a bike, because then it's the easiest to get around. If you're into sports, Konstanz is perfect. For example, it's excellent for hiking. You have all sorts of water sports. You can, in winter, even do ice skating. A couple of weeks ago, we had 2 weeks of frozen water on the lake, and lots of my students went ice skating or just walked over the lake, which was great. So sports facilities and options are big, and you can do lots and lots of things. But apart from that, of course, you need to study as well. Let's talk a little bit about the University of Konstanz. I've got some figures for you. We are a very young university, but we are in the top 50 of the under 50 ranking, which we are very happy about. And 92% of our international students recommend us, according to the International Student Barometer. And last but not least, we are one of 11 universities of excellence in Germany. That's probably why all the students on those pictures are laughing all the time. At our campus university, we have around 11,500 students from all over the world, as you can see here. And we offer an excellent 24-hour library, German and other foreign language courses. Let's go on a bit. As I said, we have first-class sports activities. The university offers courses in canoeing, hiking, sailing, skiing, climbing, and so on. And we even have our own fitness center, as you can see with the ladies dancing here. There you can see the view from the air. This is our campus university right now. I hope you can see my little arrow. We are sitting here in this very corner, and the students who study the master's program in economics have their lectures more or less in this section of the building. And this is the section F. This building here is a big childcare center. And one important part of the university is up here. This is the canteen, where it's pretty busy around lunchtime, and if you have a nice and sunny day, you can sit out here on a terrace, enjoy your lunch, and have a beautiful view over the lake. That's how close we are. The university is surrounded by greenery. There's a forest around it, but if you're wondering how far is the city center of Konstanz, if you take your bike down into the city, it takes you about 10 minutes. Not very far at all. So the international students enjoy, excuse me, my slides are not working anymore. Just 1 second. Now. So let's go back to the services for international students. If you have just arrived in Konstanz, to get started, it's easy. We offer orientation programs before you start. These programs are in October. The start of the semester is usually mid-October, but so those orientation programs are before that. There are also opportunities to do German language programs before you start, or also during each semester. The Department of Economics offers prep courses. They are especially designed for master students who start with the master's program in economics or the other two master's programs. And one really popular offer that we have new is the Master's Hut. On the left-hand side of the slide, you can see the photo of the last Master's Hut that was organized by the student organization. And here, these guys really had a great opportunity. They spent a whole weekend together and got to know their fellow students. They were accompanied by a few of the older students, and I think, judging from the picture, they had a great time. There's also for international students guaranteed student housing. You can see some of the buildings here on the right-hand side. They are very close to the university, and there are single rooms in shared apartments available, or single apartments as well, depending on what you prefer. We also have some counseling and advice services for international students. For example, there's a buddy program with second semester master students. This buddy program starts already for the applicants. In case you have questions that are specific for students of the master's program, we can connect you with second year students before you actually start studying. So while you're still in the States, there is an international office with very experienced guides who can help you with, let's say, visa issues and stuff like that. There is a student-for-student service that connects local and international students, and there is a career service which takes action once you actually get to the end of your master's program, and if you are looking into finding a job maybe in Germany. So there is this career service who has great help opportunities for that. So now I would like to get more into the details of the master's program in economics, which is all about understanding, modeling, and evaluating real-world economic issues. So now we get into the nitty-gritty of economics. Let's start here. We offer within this program 3 study tracks. The first one is a generalization track, which means that you are there open to a broad variety of courses, and you just take whatever you like best. Then we have the track B, which is a specialization track. We will talk about that in detail in a short moment. Or you kick off your PhD, which is the track A. The specialization areas that I just talked about are 5 subject areas, and here you specialize in the area you are most interested in. Last but not least, we also have 2 double degree options, and here you have the opportunity to graduate with 2 degrees. The first master's degree is from the University of Konstanz, and the second master's degree would then be from either the University of Nottingham or the University of Tor Vergata in Rome. I have a few more details about that in a little while as well. I guess this detail you know already. The language of tuition is English. The duration of the program is 4 semesters usually, and one important deadline, detail is the deadline for the applications is the 15th of April. This you should note down. 15th of April is the application deadline. The application tool is going to open on the 22nd of March. We'll have that as well on another slide again. So, talk about the subject areas that we have. There are 5 of them. First one is econometrics and applied economics. Here you analyze and understand complex economic issues using real-world data. It's a pretty important subject area on our department. A very popular subject area is also international financial economics. Here the key professor is Professor Jackwert, where you examine key issues in international financial economics and you focus on theoretical, institutional, policy and empirical aspects. The third subject area is macroeconomics and international economics. to get a comprehensive overview of macroeconomic modeling and its quantitative applications. And 2 more. We have microeconomics and decision making. That subject area deals with economic behavior deriving from individual behavior and understand real-world phenomena. For example, bubbles in financial markets or involuntary unemployment. And last but not least, another very popular subject area is public economics, where the students deal with advanced economic analysis of public sector activities. As I said before, there's also the option to graduate with a double degree, where you double your expertise, and there you study for 1 year at one of our partner universities in Great Britain or in Italy, and 1 year in Konstanz, and then you graduate with 2 degrees. The mentioned partner universities are the University of Nottingham and the University of Rome Tor Vergata in Italy. That's a brand new project, and we are very happy that we can we were able to add this to our double degree offer. On the sites, for very excellent students, there are scholarships available for the British tuition fees. So once you're wondering, this sounds great, but how do I actually get into the program? I would like to introduce you to the admission requirements for the master's program in economics. Of course, a bachelor degree is necessary, and this should be either in economics or in a subject providing a sufficient quantitative background. For example, business administration is good, mathematics, natural sciences, etc. And I have this question very often: what if I haven't finished my bachelor's degree yet? Can I still apply? Yes, of course, you're welcome to apply, and all you need is then your transcript. That is enough to start with and to start with your application. One important fact that we have is an evidence of knowledge acquired in mathematics, statistics, or economics is necessary, and I emphasize on that because all students who are not really into quantitative details shouldn't really apply for our master's program. But if you like it, it's your program, and it's really important to make sure, okay, I like it, and this is what I want. Quantitative and methods details is an important part of the master's program. I guess evidence of a sufficient command of English in your case is given. We also want a motivation letter and 2 letters of recommendation from university teachers. The results of the GRE test is nice to have. It is not 100% necessary, but it's a good thing to have in case you've done it already. Now I've got a few more details about the application process. As I said, the application deadline is on the 15th of April, and the application tool opens on the 22nd of March. From then on, you can start uploading your application documents. You will find detailed information on our website under this web address. You can always contact us if you have questions regarding the application, and it's important right now, if you decide to apply for the master's program in economics, to collect and scan all the necessary documents. There is a checklist available on our website. So if you go through this website and through the checklist and collect all the necessary documents already, that would be the perfect preparation for the application process. And then, once the application tool is online, you apply through the system. All you need are the scanned application documents. I often have the question, do I need to send stuff via post? That is not necessary. To put it in a nutshell, if you ask students who are studying here, why is it good to study with us here in Konstanz? Here you are. The classes are all taught entirely in English. We have a big variety of classes for high quality education. You study with top-notch international guest researchers that we have every semester. There are small classes which allow for close interaction with your lecturers, or you even have the option to visit lecturers at our partner universities that are close by, for example, at the University of Zurich. Of course, you also have the opportunity to start your PhD with the fast track or to graduate with a double degree. In Konstanz, you are part of an international and open environment in the heart of Europe. Sounds always good. And last but not least, enjoy our beautiful surrounding, the countryside. As I said before, swimming, sailing, you can do whatever you like as in outdoor sports. The next master's program that I would like to introduce is the master's program in political economy. There you enjoy a postgraduate education allowing you to conduct research in the fascinating field of political economy. But what is all this about? It is an interdisciplinary program at the Department of Economics and at our partner Department of Politics and Public Administration. The program offers training in quantitative theoretical and empirical methods. You can then apply these methods in policy fields like social policy, public finance, education policy, trade policy, and security affairs. It is a very young program. We started only 3 years ago, and from the just about 15 to 20 graduates that we've had so far, many of them found jobs, for example, in public trusts or in insurance companies. So their career prospects are very promising. The duration of the program is also 4 semesters. Language of tuition, the same as the master's program in economics, is English. You have 2 study tracks in this program. There's also a fast track to a PhD and the track B, which is a general track. The application deadline here is April 30th. The third program that I'd like to introduce to you is the master's program in social and economic data analysis. There you acquire knowledge and skills to collect, manage, and analyze data on human action and interaction for future experts in big data. This is the key word of this program. This interdisciplinary program, bridging social sciences and computer science. Graduates will be highly employable as data analysts, for example, in academia, in polling firms, in marketing research institutes, in online marketing, as political advisor, or as social policy consultant. As before, duration is 4 semesters. The language of tuition is primarily English. There are also 2 study tracks available, and the application deadline is April 30th. Here you also apply via the application tool, which opens for the 2 master's programs on the 4th of April. So there you have 4 weeks for the application process. I'm almost at the end of my presentation. Here are my contact details. We are of course happy to answer all your questions about the contents and the application process of the 3 master's programs, and feel free to contact me either via email, via phone or Skype, no problem. And I'm very happy that you were here listening to our presentation. Hope to hear from you soon.
Great, thank you. I do have a few questions for you, but I would like to also encourage the attendees that are listening today to send me some questions. And now's your chance. You also see Alexandra's contact information there, but depending on where you are, it may be a little difficult with the time difference sometimes to get in touch. So now is the chance really to get all your questions answered right away. So my questions that I have is the first one. You mentioned that University of Konstanz is a university of excellence. Would you describe to our audience just briefly what that means for those that are not familiar with what that actually means to be a university of excellence in Germany?
Yes, no problem. In 2014 there was this big government action where amongst all the universities in Germany, only 11 universities were chosen, and they got a big governmental grant because they justified this title of University of Excellence, which means that they were on a from a research point of view the top-notch universities in Germany, and we are one of them.
Perfect, thank you. I just have a quick question here about the recording here. Yes, we will share the slides with you. I will upload the PDFs here today, and also the recording, so you will be able to download the presentation and watch the recording again later on tonight, and you can also of course forward it to friends or colleagues. The second question that I had, and that I assume students that are coming to your campus may have, are there any German classes that are offered for students that are on campus? Maybe some students, they don't need it for class, but may have an interest in learning German, maybe also to be able to pursue a career in Germany afterwards, and just want to increase their chances of getting hired later on by just learning more German. Is that an option on campus at the university?
Yes, there is. We have either intensive classes before the program actually starts. Or actually quite a few international students arrive already in September and then either do a 4 weeks class or a 2 weeks class. There are different offers every year. If you afterwards want to continue, there are also German classes during the semester, maybe once or twice a week, depending on your level, and it's very popular amongst the international students because, of course, it's useful to speak at least a little bit of German if you go and buy your bread rolls at the bakery, or if you want to even maybe order a beer or something. So that is a good knowledge to have.
Yeah. And speaking of support for international students, do you, like for students that come to campus, do you support them in, for example, in regards to their visa application, or if they have issues maybe in finding apartments? Is there support that students that the universities offer to international students that may need a little extra help, be it because they are just new in the area or because of the language barrier potentially?
Yes, that's part of our orientation programs at the very beginning. These orientation programs are run by the international office, and they basically take the international students by their hands and run them through immigration, issues, questions. They also do the health insurance, the necessary forms with them, and whatever other insurance questions they might have. That is all done within this orientation program. And it's very, I mean, many international students visit these programs, and they're very helpful. Apart from that, we have, as I said, the help desk service, and this help desk service during the semester is run by our master's mentors, we call them, and they do, like, they help the students regarding academic questions, but also regarding other questions that might pop up, especially with international students. So there's actually a very good companionship between the older students and the new ones, which is supported from us, because that's a really important thing for us to have.
Great, thank you. And in terms of support, there is another question in regards to spouses. So we have someone, Sean, who says he is interested in a PhD in economics, and he would like to bring his wife. Specifically, his question is about nationality. He says he is American, but his wife is Mexican, and he's just wondering if that would at all be an issue in terms of visa, or in terms of work that she could do. Do you support spouses as well, and like the questions that they may have?
This is definitely, we've had a couple of married couples coming to us, and here I recommend the service of the International Office. They are usually very helpful regarding spouses if they want to find a job. I mean, the job market, it really depends on the knowledge that somebody has in German, or how open he is regarding different jobs, but usually the International Office is very helpful in including spouses into the workforce, or to find a appropriate course or whatever, so that both have it easier to integrate into the society here.
Mm-hmm. And in terms of just a little add-on to that, if your question is also specifically about a visa, I recommend you go to the German embassy, German consulate website here in the United States. Depending on where you're located, there may be consulate near you, but the website is great because they have all the forms that are necessary for the individual visas online. They have a Q&A on their website, and really they have a detailed description of the application process. And I know that, for example, if that is a question to you, if you apply for a student visa, then you can also bring a spouse. The question then would just be, would your wife then be able to work? But those are questions that I would ask a consulate specifically, but you can look up the forms and on the website what is required. I have actually another question for you, Alexandra. Is for the do you have an alumni network for the university, specifically for the programs that you mentioned? And then the second part of that question will be, what have alumni done afterwards? Do you know of, where they end up? Do they, especially the international students, do they stay in Germany and pursue a career in Germany? Do they maybe go on somewhere else in Europe? Do you have some stories to share, what students have done afterwards with the degrees from the university?
Yes. There is a big alumni association from the University of Konstanz, but it is university-wide. We are in the process to start an alumni group via LinkedIn. Unfortunately, it's not set up, but I think it will be within the next couple of weeks. As I said, we are just about to start it. I actually have quite a good overview about what my students, so-called my students, end up in the workforce. For example, a Mexican student that I used to work with very closely because she used to be my student assistant. She works for a big company at the airport in Switzerland. She is married to a Swiss husband by now and got very settled and is very happy there by now. Many of our students, the international students especially, use that chance after their master's degree that they can stay with their student visa in Germany for 1.5 years. No, I think it's 1 year, and look for a job in Germany. So that is actually quite a nice option for them. They can extend their visa for 1 year and then use that time to look for jobs. I have another one of my students who work for a big clothes company called Zalando. Many of my students end up in Frankfurt, where they work for banks and financial enterprises. So I always like following up on my students on LinkedIn, because there I see whenever they go up on the career ladder, and it's very nice to see them going up pretty fast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think just to add to that, I think as opposed to the United States, where in most cases in the job description, if you look for a job, you already need to have a green card or an otherwise valid work visa. In Germany, if you have the qualifications, you can look for a job and then with the job offer from the company, then go and apply for a work visa. So the options are definitely it's definitely possible if you have a degree, especially a higher education degree, with a master's, with a final degree as a master's, you definitely have the chance of finding a career in Germany if you are interested, or in Europe in general. Because I think the visa regulations are a little bit more open, especially to the ones that are qualified and that pursued a degree in Europe. Great. Is there any more question from our attendees for now? And while maybe attendees type their questions, is there anything, Alexandra, that you would like to mention that you may have left out in the PowerPoint presentation, or maybe something like something personal that you would like to add, since we have a little bit more time left?
Actually, there's nothing that I can think of right now. I hope I did a almost complete overview about the whole 3 programs. And if there are any more questions, as I said, I'm very, very happy to answer them via email.
We just had Sean just asked another quick question. So I will send you the link to the presentation later on. So I will put together an email, a follow-up email, and I will include the link to the presentations to our webinar website, so you can download the PDFs, and you can also click on the recording to watch it as well. So with that, since there are no additional questions, I'd like to thank you very much, Alexandra, presenting the University of Konstanz. I think there are great opportunities there. And now that I've seen the wonderful pictures, now I actually would like to visit. I've never been to Konstanz, but I think it's about time. Yeah, it sounds like a really great place, not only to visit, but really also for students to spend some time there and study at the university, but also also have some great opportunities in their free time to engage with Germans and, of course, other international students. So with that, I would like to thank you very much also for staying late in Germany. It's quite late already with the 9-hour time difference from San Francisco here, where I'm located. So thank you very much, Alexandra. It was a great presentation, and I hope that you have a lot more students from the US coming to your campus. If there are any questions, you see the contact information there, but I will also include that in the follow-up email, and you can look at the PDF later again too for the email address and the phone number. So thank you again. I hope you have a wonderful evening. To the ones listening here, I have a wonderful day, and I hope to hear from you very soon. Have a good day. Bye.
Thank you, honey.
Bye.